La guerra en Gaza y en Irán, la presión de la comunidad internacional, las miles de vidas afectadas por este conflicto son parte de lo que tiene en vilo al mundo entero y lo que vamos a conversar esta noche con el presidente del Estado de Israel, Isaac Herzog, en una visita histórica a nuestro país. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Mr. President, how do you respond to those who claim that the Israeli offensive has gone beyond the legitimate right to self-defense?
I say to everybody, if you really want to judge, come over to Israel and see for yourself. We did not seek this war. On October 7th, we were attacked by thousands of terrorists who violated our international recognized boundary, who butchered and raped and burnt and took hostage of innocent civilians and killed so many. Mostly, by the way, those who supported peace, mostly with the Palestinians in Israel. And since then, the entire Middle East has changed, because following that, proxies of Iran, the big long arms of the Iranian empire of evil, attacked us from Lebanon, from Yemen, and of course from Iran. And the rest is history. And when you are bombarded by missiles of half a ton, you fight back, you eradicate the regime, the leadership, you undermine their capabilities, and you bring a historic shift in the Middle East.
Was it necessary for 70,000 people to die in Gaza in order to neutralize Hamas?
It's really tragic and painful, and every innocent civilian tears my heart. I can tell you that the numbers are heavily distorted, but we assume, even if there are innocent civilians, and there probably are, it's the conditions of war that are the ones who are dictating it, meaning the whole infrastructure in Gaza is a terror city underneath. Hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of tunnels full of ammunition, missiles that were smuggled and produced, bombs and equipment. All the money that the international community poured into Gaza for the well-being of its people went to a whole huge city of terror underneath. Now, if you're a soldier, a commander, you go in, we alert in advance according to international law, we send leaflets and text messages, we say by loudspeaker, and we go into a neighborhood. And the battle is fierce and heavy. And in many cases, Hamas took these people as hostages or simply neglected them. So, unfortunately, there were sad cases. But I can tell you that we operate strictly according to our right of self-defense and the rules of international law.
Since the ceasefire in Gaza, there have been reports that Israeli armed forces continue to carry out attacks in the Strip. What then, Mr. President, is the value of a ceasefire?
No, so let's put things in perspective. There's a Security Council resolution for the first time in a long time with almost unanimous support, saying we are now moving to a ceasefire and the next stage in Gaza, which is to disarm Hamas, meaning Hamas has to give up their weapons, can become a political party, can join the political game in the Palestinian arena, and enable somebody, this technocratic government, to lead Gaza. Months have gone by and nothing happened. Hamas is not willing to give up its arms, is not willing to cooperate with anybody, simply procrastinating. The technocratic government in Cairo is not coming in because Hamas is refusing to give up its arm, and it's a merry-go-round. And meanwhile, they have terrorists attacking us. That's the tragedy of it all. The people of Gaza, 2 million people, deserve better. They deserve a good life. We want to have a good life for them near us. They are part and parcel of our life always. But it cannot be that there will be a terror infrastructure repeating October 7th again. And this is what shattered the trust of Israelis in the peace process. We were sure we were on track on a peace process, including regional peace, and all of a sudden it blew up by this terror attack. Now you have to get Hamas out. You have to get Hezbollah out of Lebanon. It's the same way. You have to stop the arming by Iran. You have to hit on Iran so that it stops its empire of evil, and things will change for the better in the future.
What strategy is Israel pursuing to confront the international criticism that, rightly or wrongly, believes that Israel is responsible for the largest conflict currently unfolding in the Middle East? Of course, Iran, Gaza, Lebanon, and as well the economic crisis caused by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
No, you're mixing, unfortunately, too many things together. This war was waged by Hamas as a proxy of Iran. Thereafter, Hezbollah joined from Lebanon, violating an agreement, a ceasefire agreement of 18 years. And after we killed Nasrallah, and we broke the backbone of Hezbollah, and we came to a ceasefire in 24, now they violated it again. So what do? We let our people be like hanging there they're shooting at them all the time in the northern border. Then you've got Iran. Iran rushing to a nuclear weapon, which is the biggest danger in the world. And then Iran rushing to 20,000 ballistic missiles. This was a clear American decision of President Donald Trump to attack them, the head of the snake, and we definitely joined in making sure that we are protected. That's the way we are. If we really want to change the course of history, we must not allow Iran to have nuclear weapons, not to have long-range missiles, and they must stop with their terror activities. And don't forget, Iran just butchered 50,000 of its people in the streets. It's not Israel's fault. It's a whole ideology of jihadist nature that wants to eradicate any Christian, any Jew, and by the way, any moderate Muslim.
Why was this the decisive moment for a military intervention of this magnitude?
Because we saw in clear-cut intelligence, which was shared also, by the United States and others, how they are rushing to the bomb. It's not something that's done public. It's something that is done clandestinely, hidden, operations all over, with installations. They took out all the scrutiny of the International Atomic Agency in Vienna. They did not allow inspectors to come in. They lied, they brought in equipment, etc., etc., etc. And we knew for sure that they are rushing to the bomb. And they were not far away from the bomb. And had they had the bomb, the Middle East would be gone into their hands. This is the most dangerous development, because you could see in the war now with the United States and Iran, they used missiles that are 4,000 kilometers all the way to Diego Garcia from Iran, meaning that's how far it goes, way beyond London. They have strategic plans, guys. The world should wake up. And I know it's not easy for somebody in Costa Rica to understand this, because thank God you're blessed by God in a peaceful region and in a peaceful country. But judge it from our angle. This is the only Jewish nation state in the world. We are tiny and small, we're protecting ourselves, but the issue is much larger than that. They are threatening the free world. And I say to all my European friends, we are doing your war. We are defending Europe by taking this war on our shoulders with the United States.
Following what President Trump said, Iran and the United States appear to be close to reaching an agreement, right, in which among the key points, Iran would commit to a 15-year moratorium on uranium enrichment. Will that be enough for Israel, or?
We say we trust the United States in their negotiations. It's obvious. And we know that they know the main objective is to make sure Iran does not have the capability of getting to a weapon. The enriched uranium, which is hidden in these very sophisticated tunnels in various sites, has to be taken out. And this is part of the negotiations. Now, the blockade comes because of the Iranian operation in the Hormuz Straits. Freedom of navigation is not recognized by Iran. Here, you know that. You're a country that knows what it is, maritime freedom. They are blocking maritime freedom, and therefore the world has to fight them. They're attacking United Arab Emirates with huge missiles. They have cruise missiles on us, on Oman, all the way to Turkey. They're just sending it all over the region. It's a wake-up call for the entire region.
Are you going to be part of this possible agreement?
I'm sure that our government and our Prime Minister will be fully informed about the agreement. As very close relations between the president and the prime minister on all of these topics.
Understanding that the Iranian regime is one of the main sources of funding of these groups that are considered terrorist organizations.
Taking their people's money, their people's food, and spending it on terror.
What do you believe would happen if the regime were to fall? Will that mean the end of Hamas and Hezbollah?
Well, I hope it will fall one day. I don't know when. I think the people are fed up. They're going through hell. And we have no conflict with the Iranian people. We respect the Iranian people. We respect their culture and we respect their history. But they were taken over by a very brutal dictatorship, which has no mercy for anybody. And one day it will happen, because that's what happens to dictators. And in my mind, if that regime falls and there's a change in Iran, the whole region will change. We had relations with Iran up until 1979 or etc. We had very good relations with Iran, and it was actually a very impressive Jewish story with a wonderful Jewish community.
We understand that Lebanon and your country will hold a new round of peace talks on May 14 and 15 in Washington.
That's a great piece of news. But Hezbollah is blocking any possibility of getting to the deal.
What expectations do you have about this meeting?
I hope that it will be now with further details. There's one question: who is the sovereign in Lebanon? If the sovereign is the Lebanese government, the Lebanese president, they can do a deal with us. They have to get Hezbollah, which is a terror organization, a kind of an army of their own, to stop operating and enabling the Lebanese army to take over.
Do you believe that the two-state solution today is a threat to Israel?
It's a huge issue in our political discourse. You know, I come from the Labour Party. I always spoke about the possibility of having a peace deal and two-state solution, but the real issue is, what can we offer now to the people that's viable? Why? Because following October 7th, it was a wake-up call also for Israelis who said, why should we give up any border and any land if we will always be attacked? A very strong issue. Now we're in elections. There will be elections in Israel, September or October. This is one of the thorniest issues in the political discourse. So I don't intend to take direct sides on it, but I believe that the real grand vista, the grand vision should be that based on the regional cooperation and peace that we have on the arms of the Abraham Accords and the peace agreements we already have, we can then move towards a dialogue with the Palestinians.
Now, Mr. President, I would like to briefly address a domestic issue in your country. We know that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing corruption allegations. If a plea deal is not reached, will you pardon him?
So I'm pressing for a plea deal. And I've called upon the sides to come and mediate in under my auspices. And I hope that they will agree. I got confirmation from the prosecution. I hope to get confirmation from Netanyahu's side. I think it will be a mistake not to do so. I think the right way is to get to a plea bargain.
I would like to end this interview, of course, by talking about your visit. This is the first time Costa Rica is hosting a president of Israel. So what does your visit mean for both countries?
This is an amazing visit. I always dreamt of getting to Costa Rica. We always learned about Costa Rica's affinity with the state of Israel. I was honored to be invited by President Chavez to honor the swearing in of President Fernandez. I met with both. They're incredible friends of Israel, and they've shown immense leadership. I met with Foreign Minister Tobar. We also discussed the free trade agreement. And I believe now it's a golden opportunity to triple the amount of business and trade between the countries for the benefit of the nations in so many fields. You have an incredible nation. We have an incredible nation. We share so many things, from high-end technology to agriculture and science and what's not. Everything is on the table. All we need now is business delegations, visits of ministers, and the sky's the limit, really. And there is so much to do together and a lot of love between the peoples. And I came here to express gratitude to Costa Rica and the people of Costa Rica for their incredible support of Israel throughout the ages, and I was honored to walk in the stadium and be cheered by ordinary citizens of Costa Rica.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for
much.
speaking with us. Continuamos con más de 7 días.